Optimus Prime.
What is up everyone, it's me, Time Foss. It's been a while, but I'm back. Today, we're gonna be taking a look at the Blokees Classic Class Optimus Prime. Without further ado, let's get into this. Now, first and foremost, I actually like the design. Even though I'm not a G1 fan, I have to say I appreciate the design cues they took for this version of Optimus Prime, aka Orion Pax. And as you can see, very detailed. Let's zoom in for a bit. So the detail here is pretty much fantastic. Everything has panels and detail, ridges and whatnot. It's very interesting. And this is not a transforming figure, so the back is definitely very clean, as you can see. Very good details. I had this figure for like a week and a half now, and it is very solid, very light, but very fun to hold. And I don't know if my camera is picking this up because I don't have any good lighting. So in hand, the figure does feel very great. The figure is actually a model kit. So if you don't know who Blokees or Blokees are, they're a new company into the game of making model kit, aka figures. And they have licensed products of almost everything, to Transformers, to Kamen Rider, to Ultraman, even some anime like Naruto. And they've done a really good job, especially with this one being a big scale figure. This is actually immaculate. I haven't tried Megatron or the Ultraman figures. I might try them in the near future. Now let's get into the accessories first. Now, aside from the obvious Optimus Prime face, you do get an Orion Pax face right here, which you have to like remove the helmet and then plug out that piece, put it in. I'm not going to do that now, but take note, you have the option to give him an Orion Pax face, or a faceless mask if you prefer that saying. And then aside from the already attached open palm hands, you do get two holding style fists. Now these will come into play later, which I will show you right now. Removing the hands are easy. You just gotta pop these off from the ball joints and replace them with one of these. Now they work on two sides, so yeah, easy enough to do, right? Now for weapons, you do get a, I want to say ion blaster. This is just basically a gun that Optimus picked up randomly in the movie. It's not his main weapon. He never used it as Optimus Prime. And if you notice, those his lights and chest are glowing. I'll explain that later. But plug this into his hand. Easy enough to do. Doesn't that look great? So I have to explain the light gimmick here. You do get an LED piece inside the chest, or they just turned off. There is an LED inside the chest unit for the bigger scale ones. Now it doesn't have a switch, it's just like motion detection, so if you tap it, like say like this, it lights up, and that's great. The problem is, if you were to replace the battery, you're gonna have to take off the chest, disassemble it, and reassemble it. But inside here, you do get a great matrix of leadership. If I were to open up, you do get a really good, decent matrix of leadership inside there. As you can see, it's not painted, but it's very detailed. And the light gimmick is actually very bright if you were to like darken the sections like this. You see that? Pretty cool. Let's continue with the accessories. You do get an Energon axe. Now this is blue and yellow, even though it looks like it's green coming in from my camera. And as usual, just like with the hands, you just replace it with the ball joint, plug it in, and there you have Optimus in battle mode, I guess, if you want to say, with the Energon axe as well. Before I forget, you do get a base for display. Now you can actually assemble this however way you want. Comes with two effects. It's not as great as the Rise of the Beast version because they have an illustration here. This is more like a generic panel Cybertron thing, I guess. It has Blokees' name on there, if you can make it out there. And how this works is that you place this with the holes on the feet onto these blocks. And there you go, like that, simple. Let's move on to articulation. So the head is on a ball joint, but it's very limited. Can't look up that far, can't look down that far, not a whole lot. Rotation is a bit limited due to how the mask is sculpted, as you can see there. The shoulder pads are separate, so you can move them in and out like that. The shoulders can move 360, the shoulders can move out about that much, and that moves very well, I won't lie, that's great. You do get a butterfly joint inside there, if you can make it out there. A rotation not at the bicep, but at the elbow, which is a bit weird when I think about it. And the bend at the elbow is limited to 90 degrees. Sadly enough, the armor gets in the way. The wrist can move down for whatever reason. They can rotate, obviously speaking. The waist, there is no ab crunch, and I showed you this can open up. They can rotate full 360. The side skirts can move to the side a little bit, not a whole lot. They don't move forward. The legs can kick forward about that much, and there's a reason why it can only move that much, because any more than this and it dislodges the skirt armor. So without the skirt armor, actually it can move a lot, but with it on, it can pop off. Legs can move out about that far before it gets hindered by the side skirts, as usual. There is no thigh rotation, but you do get a knee rotation or knee swivel. And yeah, I really don't get that actually. As for the bend at the knee, it's about over 90 degrees. Really great, not gonna lie. Feet here can move up that far, can move down that far. They can rotate, obviously. And they got a side-to-side pivot. Not a whole lot, but really serviceable. So yeah, Optimus Prime can actually do a whole lot of poses, but really it's limited due to how it's designed. So on a bigger figure, this would have been... So the articulation is a bit hit and miss, but for what Blokees did and the price point being so cheap, I can't fault them. It's really great. Personally, I actually love the articulation on this figure. So side-by-side comparison, here he is next to his first form Orion Pax, and next to a Michael Bay Transformer. This is the oversized Voyager class figure that I reviewed a long time ago. As you can see, it's very big. Here he is side by side with a Lego minifigure and an SD Gundam. Okay, so final thoughts on the figure slash model kit. Alright, if you love Optimus Prime or you have a collection of Transformers, you want to try model kits, well, go for it. The only downside I can say about this particular line of figures is that it can't transform. Now, if you're a hardcore Transformers fans that love transforming toys because they are Transformers, this isn't the one for you. But if you're okay with them not transforming, you want a cheap figure that can pose great, has a light up feature, and is actually very fun to handle, I would say go for the Blokees. If you can afford YOLO Park, go for Blokees. They have abundance of lines, like from the blind packs and the classic class, which actually does have the movie Optimus that I really want to get sometime in the future. So if you're sold on the idea of what Blokees has done, if you love this figure, you love Transformers 1 as well, go for it. There's nothing stopping you. That's all from me. Stick around, I might do more reviews in the future. Until next time.
We could have rizzed the goth baddies together.